Now, I'm going to jump over, well, let me just tell you this thing here. Manufacturers and users both innovate, but they make different kinds of innovations. Users make innovations which are functionally novel. Users understand the need very well. So users are the ones who basically develop the first operation or something like that. Arthroscopy, again, developed by a surgeon. And then manufacturers may come along and improve it in some way once the market is made clear. The reason users come up with novel functionality is because the users are embedded in the need. They understand it. This is true much better than the manufacturers do. And they do it whether it's in skateboards or children's toys. The children invent the toys, not Mattel. It's very interesting. When you trace it back, it is the user who invents it. The first skateboard was invented by kids, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Now, you then get to the issue about how do you as a manufacturer get advantage from this? Because nowadays, you are not looking as a manufacturer at your users. And as a manufacturer, you cannot look at every user to see what that person is developing or trying. So we invented the concept of lead users. They have two characteristics. One, they have needs that foreshadow general demand. They're ahead of the market. And two, they have an expect to obtain high benefit. So the expect to obtain high benefit characteristic is simply the old saying in the United States, necessity is the mother of invention, right? You really need something, like the person up there whose father, needed mobility devices, you come up with it. Or the person whose mother needed a better way of weaving without moving her hand 19,000 times. You invent it because of the need. What the manufacturer cares about is that you represent market demand, that he can make some money by reproducing your innovation. That's not something that the user inventor necessarily cares about. He wants to solve his problem. The manufacturer cares in order to make something commercially viable. So basically what we now have is that we want to find these people over here at the beginning of the curve, rather than users in the middle of the curve somewhere that are inventing something special for themselves but that nobody else needs. Okay? Now, so what I'm going to do, this is you can see how old this sort of thing is. This is a Model T. Do you know what a snowmobile is? You might not know what that is. You know what snowmobiles are, right? You know you have to snow in this area. Yeah, in North India. What? In North India. Okay. All right. It's my ignorance. Anyway, so after the Model T Ford was invented, immediately people began to adapt it to different uses, and among other things, they invented the snowmobile. And what you see is a Model T Ford. Now, there are other inventions made with respect to this. This, for example, is a traveling chapel, complete with steeple church, complete with deacon or minister. Now, our problem as manufacturers then is to distinguish this, for which there did not turn out to be great demand, from this, which turned out to have it, right? Who is the lead user here? So, what we did was we developed a method of actually searching for lead users. And if you go to my website again at MIT, you will see 6 10-minute videos. I will show you one of them very quickly, showing you how lead user innovation research can be done. The basic idea is that you get a trend. For example, in automobile, braking was an issue. Braking so that you don't skid, stopping the car. When you, as a manufacturer, look at the middle of the market where you have a regular car, ask the customers what they want, and they say, well, I want something that doesn't skid. You say, well, okay, that's helpful. Then you have to develop it. But if you go to where the need is more extreme, like race car drivers, what you find is, I don't know, when you went to driving school, were you taught to pump the brakes? Were you taught that? Those of you who are older, you were, right? You were taught to pump the brakes, which is to put them on and off repeatedly, because that way you control skidding. You can still steer. And that was invented by race car drivers who had a higher need than the ordinary user for not skidding while going at a high speed. And then if you go a little further out, beyond this market altogether, you will find analogous people who have an even more extreme need for the same attribute. And so in this case, and you'll see it on the video, in this case, when you go outside here, these are the people who invented ABS braking. The aerospace people had the same braking problem as the racing car people, but even in more extreme form. And they cared about it more because if your wheel locks up in an airplane and you skid along the runway, you blow the tires and you basically crash the plane. So they developed ABS, which is automated pumping of the brakes, because they need it. Then the manufacturer is doing this lead user study and say, aha, rather than sitting here and asking users what they want, we know what the dimension is, it's improved braking, and now what we will go is to the leading edge of it and look for solutions that are already there. Okay? So that's basically this process. And what you'll see when you do it, we did a study on this, which is a study like an FDA study that was comparing same opportunities being studied by lead users, that is, by teams that were searching for user innovations already developed, and the old traditional way of find a need and fill it, marketing research followed by internal development. And when you compare the results, it's really quite striking. What you see is that the average built up on a lead user innovation, the average sales per year was $146 million. The average sale in the traditional method of looking at users and trying to develop something for them in the target market was 8 times smaller. So in other words, what we have here is a pattern where we see it in the environment happening when we trace back innovations and we see that they're done by users in the beginning. And then we now know that we can take this pattern and replicate it today to find results that actually make commercial sense. Now, I wonder what I should do here. In terms of how much time do we have? Okay, so why don't I quickly show you a video? Shall I do that? Yeah. Okay, then I have another quick talk.